All right, what's up everyone, the French Monkey here, and today I wanted to make another tutorial on how to texture crystals. So I'm going to be using Redshift, and I wanted to show you how to create this kind of dispersions here inside of the crystals. And all of these were made with Redshift as well. So yeah, and I want to thank everyone that already got Quartz FM and already, made some renders with it. So be sure to tag me so I can repost your work. So yeah. All right, so I'm inside of Cinema 4D, and first of all, I want to set up some render settings. So I'm gonna go to my render settings here in Redshift, and what I do usually is, I leave the IPR to 128 just to have a fast feedback on what's happening. My sample minimum to 4 and max to 512. And what I do, this might be a little bit overkill, but I override all of the samples to 256. So yeah, I also, if you go here in my optimization, I am changing the trace depth. So by default, I think it's set to 6. So I just bump that up to 12. Into my GI irradiance cache in point cloud, number of GI 6, 512 number of rays. And we will also need to go to the photon tab, add, I think by default, this is 200. So we are going to leave that, but we will need to bump the caustic search radius. So usually it's set to 1, so I'm gonna set it to 10 for now, and that's pretty much it for the settings. So I'm gonna go to my common browser, and I'm gonna go to my Quartz FM. I'm gonna load, I might go with one of the presets, and now what I want to do, so I already have my Redshift camera. I want to add a dome light, so I'm gonna go to my products here, HDR pack, and I'm gonna go to the Florida one. So I'm gonna click, I'm gonna see some thumbnails, and I might go with this one. So I'm gonna go here, 6. All right, so now I'm gonna launch my IPR here to see what's happening. So we need to increase a little bit the gamma, and I want to make this invisible. And now I'm going to create a new material for Redshift. So I'm going to go to material, I'm going to apply that to the Quartz FM, and something that we will need to do at some point, so I'm going to do this right now to not forget, is to add a Redshift object, go to the override setting, the visibility tag, and enable the cast caustics photons. So what I want to do first is change the preset to glass. And we already have some stuff going on. And the IR of crystals is 458. And I'm going to add some dispersions as well. And as you can see, we already have this kind of coloring happening inside of the crystal, and we can add as much as you want. And I've been asked how to do this specific kind of coloring, and this was made by using a very low value. So I'm going to go pretty much to 21, and I'm going to add now some roughness to it. So you can, you don't really need a map, you can go with this and you will have something like that. But I want to make this crystal a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to add a texture to it. And I'm going to go to my products, grayscale kits, grunge kit. I'm going to have a link to the grunge kit down below as well. And I'm probably going to go with the dirt map. So I'm going to use that as a roughness. So I'm going to take my roughness channel of the reflection. I'm going to link in here. What I want to add as well is a ramp. So I'm going to feed this here, and I'm going to feed this in the reflection channel. So it's going to take some time to load the actual texture. All right, and we already have this going on. So something that I want to change is the mapping. So I'm going to go from UVW to cubic. And now I'm going to go to my ramp setting and just, change that up. You can also invert it. And I think I like this, but the white is too much. So I'm going to go to my white and decrease the intensity. I'm going to go a little bit less. And yeah, I think that will work. One thing we can do in Redshift is to offset the texture and also to rotate it. And of course, you can also increase the scale. It's going to process the texture again. Yeah, this might be better for that. So what I want to do now is add two more things to the mix. So I want to add another layer of coating. So I'm going to grab my roughness coating here, and I'm going to add the weight to 1. So we are going to have another layer of reflection on top of that. And I also want to take the refraction color. And for those two, I will be using a noise. And I'm just going to feed this into the output to see what's happening. And I'm going to change that to turbulence. Change up the complexity and the gain. And yeah, I think that will work. I will add a ramp. And I will add that to the coat roughness. And now if I go here to my roughness, to my coating roughness, I might also invert that. And we can also change independently the IR of the second reflection, which is kind of nice. All right, so I'm going to duplicate those two, and I'm just going to feed that again to the surface output, and I'm going to change my noise. I might need to reinvert this, change the overall scale, and I will see if I can add some fractal to it. And I want something very small to be able to add as a bump as well. So yeah, I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to feed this into the refraction color. That way we will have some spots here, and I will add a bump node. I will add another ramp as well. And I will feed that to the bump input. And I would be using the same noise we did here. And of course, something we might want to do is just, keep that very, very low. And change the values here. We want a really sudden type of bump. And now I'm just going to rotate a little bit my HDRI. And if you want, you can also go back into the material and change the dispersion. And of course, since this is a quartz FM, I'm just going to add some impurities. And now we have some bubbles inside, so I'm going to scale this a little bit down. Going to add more. I'm going to set my HDRI back to default because I like the way the light was here. And I'm going to change again my dispersion And yeah, as you can see, this is pretty much how I've been creating my textures inside of Redshift. So all of these were done inside of Redshift with different bump map, with different roughness channel, and of course with different lighting situation. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully that helps you out to create some nice specular textures. And yeah, that's it. I will see you in the next one.